overall, it's a positive package. It means that there will be stable and ample liquidity for well, the next year at least, and possibly a bit longer, as I would expect some more extension down the line. That said, the upcoming forecast, which will be released later during the press conference, are likely to show that inflation will remain well below the ECB target, especially core inflation, which means that the ECB should have done much more. And so, in a sense, there's a reckoning from the ECB side that there are limits to the tools that it can deploy and also to the effectiveness of those tools.
Right.
And so what the ECB is doing here is really betting on a huge fiscal response.
Right, which is something that we've heard out of the ECB in previous meetings. The HICP forecast, just to remind viewers, for 2022 was at 1.3%. And so today we're probably likely to get an even lower forecast for that 2022 number for inflation. And yet here we are, the ECB are announcing this, another big bazooka, another big round of measures. To your point, it looks as though it's going to be really difficult for them to actually affect those inflation rates if fiscal policy is not on board. Turning it to fiscal policy, we have the EU summit taking place. There's certainly hope that we may actually finally get a resolution on the EU recovery fund. How much of an upside risk do you think that would present to the Eurozone economy next year?
So there are still some difficulties in approving these EU recovery funds. And I think that's telling about the shortcomings of the existing institutional framework in the European Union from a fiscal perspective. That said, there were some encouraging developments yesterday, and it looks like we are close to the approval of the EU budget. And clearly, obviously, depends on what it will include. So it's not just a matter of size, but also a matter of quality and compositions of the budget. But clearly, that's really needed to ensure a sustainable and sustained recovery next year. I'm looking for GDP growth of about 4% next year. But of course, if there are particularly supportive measures and also long-term oriented measures, I'd say fighting climate change, infrastructure, research and development, I'd be open to adjust my forecast up a bit.